Whatever we thinking about, whatever we focusing on, we attract more of that to our life. And a lot of times we always dwell on what we don't want to happen, and that's what we're giving all our focus on, and we just attract more of that to our life. So we saying, I don't want a no good boyfriend, I don't want a no good girlfriend, I don't want to be broke. Our mind is thinking about that, so we just attract more no good people and more brokenness. But if we focus on, I want this amount of money, I want these goals, I want to be in this location, this is what I want, we attract more of that to our life. And a lot of times we have to put ourselves around people who like-minded and want what we want, so they won't always talk us out of what God put in our heart. So we have to not only think about what we want, but we have to be around people who want the exact same things. So a lot of times we might have to leave our hometown, we might have to leave our comfort zone, leave our job, and go to a job or go to a place where it's people who want what you want, so you can stay alignment with your dreams and keep a mindset to understand whatever we're thinking about, whatever we're focusing on, we will attract. For real. I know how powerful words is. Our words are seeds. Scripture teaches us life and death is in the power of the tongue, and I really believe that. You could bring real peace over the whole world. You can lead people to Christ. You can lead people to love just by our words. And we can lead people to hell. We can lead people to death just by our words. Our words are not just a sound that's going on, but it's a spiritual seed. We have a physical world and a spiritual world. And if you plant tomatoes as a farmer, you have to dig dirt up and plant a seed, and under the ground something is going on. Some spirituals getting roots and you can't see it. It's the unseen world, and pretty soon tomatoes will grow. Not bananas, but tomatoes. And that's just like our words. Our words are spiritual seeds that go into the spirit world and develop roots. And if we speak in life, if we speak in love, just like those tomatoes will start forming in the physical world, we can see it. That's what happened to our words in the physical. We planting spiritual seeds to the spiritual world, is growing spiritual roots, and now our words is manifesting our physical life. So love start to happen. We will get more love in the world. We attract more love. More people will understand love when we speak in love. And just like that, if we speak in hate, murder, death, kill, that same harvest will grow. If we plant love, we're gonna get love. If we plant hate, we're gonna get hate. Just like a real farmer. If you plant tomatoes, you're not gonna get apples, you're gonna get tomatoes. So life and death is in the power of the tongue. If you speaking life, you will grow more life in your life, and you will teach the world about love and healing and peace and coming together. But if you speak murder, kill, death, hate, divide, it's gonna be more division in your mind and in your life and around the people who listen to your words. So life and death is in the power of the tongue, for real. We don't understand we are here to serve. Nothing happened to us, it happened for us. And all our experiences, whether good or bad, all our heartaches, all our traumatic experiences, even all our gifts, if we don't use those to serve people, if we don't use those to help other people, use all our experiences, we're gonna be depressed, we're gonna be stressed, we're gonna have anxiety, we're gonna have mental health issues, and we're gonna do all these outward things to heal what we should be doing. Yoga ain't gonna work, holy dancing ain't gonna work, holy water ain't gonna work, sage ain't gonna work, praying ain't gonna work, Ramadan ain't gonna work, fasting ain't gonna work. Nothing is gonna work until we serve God's people. When we serve God's people by taking our hurts and using it to help people, using our gifts, using it to help people. If we use our hurts to dwell on the past and try to drink it away, smoke it away, meditate it away, it's only putting a band-aid over a stab wound. It ain't gonna work. We have to use our pain and understand it didn't happen to me, it happened for me. We have to use our gifts, not to dwell in the past and tell these old stories, how good of a basketball player I was. We have to use it to help and serve God's people. That's the only way for true healing and true peace, by walking in our God-given purpose, for real. I heard somebody say the success in our life is hidden in our daily routine, what we do every single day. Not just a one-time great moment, catching lightning in a bottle, but what you do every single day is what make you great. And I believe that. I heard somebody say to have a great career, you have to be great over a 10-year span. But you can't be great for 10 years straight if you don't be great that 1 year. That pile year after year after year to end up being a career. But to have one great year, you have to be great every single month within that year. And to have one good month, you have to be great every single week. And to be great 1 week, you have to be great every single day. The repetitions you do every single day. The success in our life is hitting our daily routine. So we're stacking day after day after day after day consistently to be great. Not sitting there thinking like, man, what do I got to do to get there? Or how can I get there? No, get started and stack good day on good day on good day. And you will look up like, man, you done passed everybody else because they was just wasting their time. So my goal is to be successful every single day. Write down my to-do list and get it done every single day. And we can have a great day by making sure we go to bed thinking the right things, writing our goals, writing our to-do list before we go to sleep, and then wake up and understand I have to get this done. Add on and subtract to your do list and get started and have a goal to get everything done every single day for real. Golden rule to any faith is doing to others you want done to you. Lead with love and respect. Jesus said, love your neighbor as you love yourself. But a lot of times we want to sit in the house and read the Bible and recite scripture. You know who recited the most scripture in the Bible? It was always the Pharisees, who read it and then recite scripture to tear other people down, judge and critique everybody else. And while they was critiquing Jesus and Jesus' disciples for not washing their hand before they ate or healing somebody on the Sabbath, they was out there serving and helping and healing people. That's what God wants us to do, serve his people. But we'd be like, I don't like people. I read my Bible and know scriptures up and down, but still mean as a snake. I don't like people. I don't need nobody but God. And God works through people. God works through people. God used people to do his will on the earth. But we'll sit down like Pharisees in our own house. I don't need nobody but God. And read the Bible all day and won't help anyone. Beware that negative person in your life. Whenever it's a problem, you come up with a solution. They tell you every reason why it won't work without even trying it. Just negative. If you say you about to do something or going somewhere, they'll tell you why you shouldn't go or why they won't go or why they won't do it. Negative. And I know you might recognize that negative and say you might not be like that. But sometimes all it takes is one of their words to get in your subconscious. And it might be an opportunity right there for you. And you might get scared. And you might think of your friend, your cousin, negative word, and you might hesitate. And like Eminem said on 8 Mile, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. Opportunity come once in a lifetime. And you hesitate because you're scared. You hesitate thinking about your negative friend. And you hesitated and missed that opportunity and that door closed and it went to somebody else. And it's all because you was talking to those negative people who doubt and always scared. So on the road to greatness, on the road to being the best version of yourself, when people talking negative, go the other way. If you know a person negative, don't talk to them. Some people you have to love from a distance, for real. Scripture teaches us give and it will be given to you. And that is so real. A lot of times we don't believe that scripture because if we give to this person, we expect them to give to us back. And when we expect it. But a lot of times our blessings come back when we least expect it from somebody we least expect it from. And so when somebody give to us or be a blessing, we be like, wow, that came out the blue and I didn't expect you. But somewhere down the line, we sowed a seed in somebody else's life. And our harvest came when we least expected it from somebody we least expected it from. And that scripture is just not about giving things to people, but it's about judging. when we judging and criticizing people, tearing people down, we will be judged the exact same way, criticized the exact same way. And that person we judging and tearing down, that might not be the person who judge and tear us down, but somebody when we least suspected, from somebody we least suspected from judging us, criticizing us, and tearing us down. It's just because we sowed them judgmental seeds. Everything we do is a seed, and we will reap that harvest. So if we judge, we will be judged. If we give, it will be given to us. Everything we do is a seed, and it will come back in our life. Whatever we dish out, we will get, for real. Conversations is so powerful. One conversation could change your life forever. One conversation could save a friendship, a relationship. One conversation could open up a door. You have one conversation with a stranger and y'all might have things in common, and that person could open up a door or give you an opportunity that you might not ever had in your life, and it come just from a conversation. A lot of times we have problems with people and it be us assuming. And we had that conversation. We see things from their perspective. They see it from our perspective. We could squash beefs. We could heal friendships. We could save a marriage. We could stop wars off one conversation. And so I believe asking the right question and actually communicating is the most powerful thing we can do. And it starts just from one conversation, for real. I don't believe we can be the best version of ourselves if we don't be totally self-accountable. A lot of times we would never look in the mirror and be like, I was wrong. That was my fault. I need to be better. But instead we take ourselves off the hook and shift the responsibility to everybody else. We shift the blame to everybody else. It's their fault. It's their fault. If you will be better, if you would change. No, a lot of times we the ones who need to change. A lot of times we the ones need to be better. And the moment we give everybody else the power over our life by blaming them for where we at, we make them our God. And we can't change because they have all the power. We take back all the power when we look in the mirror and be like, I'm gonna do better. I need to do better. And that is the first step of being the best version of ourselves, because we are accepting responsibility for our own BS, and now we can correct it. We can't correct it if somebody else have all the power. They not gonna change. You cannot change anybody else but yourself. And you can't change yourself if you don't look in the mirror and say, I need to change. And when we do that, that is the first step of self-correction, is admitting we wrong and we need to change. And that is totally self-accountability. And when we have totally self-accountability, we can correct and be the best version of ourselves, for real. I believe everything in life start with an idea and a vision. And then when we get there, we got to write that down. And then when we write that down, we just got to take a step in faith and get started. A lot of times we'll wait for the approval of people or see how people feel about this idea and just overthink the situation and never get started. But I believe just go out, just take that step. You don't know what you're doing, but just start doing. And then you learning from mistakes. You're making mistakes and you learning. Or you go talk to somebody who done it already and they could point you in a direction, but don't wait for them to do it for you. When you wait for somebody to team up with you to get started or wait for somebody to do something for you, man, you're going to be waiting forever. So I think you should ask somebody who done it already, not a friend who ain't never did it, but ask somebody who did exactly what you want to do, and you get the information, and you can either follow the blueprint, be like, okay, this didn't work or this worked. Or I like this, I don't like this. But then just get started. Just do it. Go make the mistakes. Just do it. But waiting for the right amount of money or the perfect time to get started, you will never get started. You'll procrastinate for the rest of your life, and you'll wait for your friends. And they say they're going to help you. They're not going to help you, bro. They're not going to help you. It's not their vision. They can see what you see in the physical, but your vision is spiritual. Only you can see it. So take that step of faith and get started. I believe we would never be the best version of ourselves if we don't follow our gifts and follow our passions. Our gifts is what we good at, what we are naturally good at, stuff we can do that nobody else can't do. And we all have gifts, and we don't recognize our gifts because we looking at what somebody else is gifted at and we comparing ourselves to them. It's something we can do that they can't do. And it might not bring us a lot of money. Might not bring us props or hand claps, but we are gifted at this. I believe for us to have true peace and true joy, we have to do what we gifted at. And we have to follow our passions, what we love to do, what we passionate about. We have to do that. And it's an inner peace in doing what we gifted at and what we love every single day. But a lot of times we're so looking at other people that we cannot get the best out of ourselves. And so if we follow our gifts and follow our passions, that brings us true peace, and then we could be the best version of ourselves because we doing what we made for and not what we paid for real. We say, why me, God? I didn't deserve this. And a lot of times bad stuff happened to us and we don't deserve it. But do we say, why me, God, when good things happen to us that we don't deserve? We wasn't qualified for that position. We only got hooked up with that just because we was keying to the right person or we was at the right place at the right time. We don't ever say, why God, why me? Oh my God, I didn't deserve this. Sometimes bad stuff happens to us because we need to be at that place to help somebody else or learn experience from something. So a lot of times we get stuff we don't deserve because God wants us in a place that we usually wouldn't be at so he can use us to do his will on this earth. For real. We got to renew our mind. We have to renew our mind. A lot of times we be stuck. That's the way I was raised, or that's how I always did it. One thing I learned, man, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, man, that is insanity. And if we ain't where we want to be because we doing what we always done or doing what we taught, if it ain't working, we need to try something different and change our mindset. And so what worked over here might not work over there. And so just because you react that way in that environment and that was cool, that was celebrated, and that's how you got by and excelled in that environment, that don't mean it's gonna work in that environment. And we bring those old habits to new situations and wonder why everything always crumbles or we can't get to where we're trying to get to. And so to be the best version of ourselves, we have to unlearn a whole bunch of negative stuff we was taught, because what worked in that environment ain't gonna work in this environment, for real. I think as a whole, we have a self-accountability problem. We want to blame everybody else, but we never look in the mirror and actually be like, it's my fault, I was wrong. We never apologize. We never see what we do. We blame everybody else for our failures, our setbacks, and our losses, and a lot of times we be the whole problem. And when we live like that, when we think like that, when we be like that, we can't make any changes in our life. A lot of times we do what we paid for and not what we made for. Yeah, this might bring us money, it might bring us a certain amount of income, but we not being the best version of ourselves, not walking in our purpose or doing what God gifted us to do. And a lot of times we abandon all our gifts, all our passion, and we abandon our purpose for money. And a lot of times we want more money because we looking at what somebody else got and what somebody else is doing. And when we do that, no amount of money will not fulfill the hole in our life when we don't do what we made for and what we paid for. And that's why you see people who we look at as successful because they have a lot of money and a lot of achievements, and they have to do drugs to maintain. They're not feeling right. They want to kill themselves, and they just unhappy. And we looking at them like, you got all that. Why is you unhappy? And a lot of times it's because they're doing what they paid for and not what they made for real. One thing I learned, when you have a dream, you have a vision, and God put that in your heart, you just have to go after it. A lot of times we don't know how to get there. We know what we want, but we don't know how to get there. And so we talk to the people we trust. We talk to our mom. We talk to our friends. We talk to our girlfriend, our boyfriend, our significant other. And they'll talk you right out of what God put in your heart. A vision is spiritual. Your friend, your loved ones, they can see what you see in the physical, but they can't see your vision because the vision is spiritual. And they might not get it, so they can't believe it can happen to you because they don't see you where God see you.